AI has been the biggest market story of 2025. My next guess is AI is not a bubble, it is the backbone. Let's bring in RDS Wealth President and CEO Dale Smothers. Dale, so what do you mean by that? I mean, obviously the backbone of the future, but the backbone of what today?
Sure. I think that the AI trade is here to stay, and far from a AI race per se, where there is a definite leader with a definite finish line. This is more like an infinite game of leapfrog, Cheryl. And the reality is that artificial intelligence is likely to be more of a rotation story than a bubble story from one leader to the next as innovation evolves. I think that continues into 2026 as we see this artificial intelligence continue to be one piece of a broadening market that climbs higher.
All right. So, and you say that those comparisons to the internet bubble, the dot-com bubble and bust of the late 90s into the early 2000s, that's not a fair comparison to make.
Sure. I think that the reality of what we saw in the late 90s, early 2000s is nowhere close to what we're seeing with this particular formation of what we may call a bubble. And no doubt it's got some air in it, but we've seen that air let out very lightly since October. Since mid-October, we've seen the artificial intelligence trade under pressure, but it has not popped or busted, and that is a strong sign for this continuation into 2026.
Then let's talk about NVIDIA, because they have agreed now to buy assets from AI chip startup Grok for $20 billion. It is an all-cash deal. You say the AI race is not about one winner, it's a leapfrog environment where leadership rotates. So is this another move that they're making that catapults NVIDIA into the lead of that? And also, you know, where do you find those leaders heading into 2026? There's no doubt going to be losers. We have to say that. But looking for the leadership, is it still NVIDIA, in your opinion?
It certainly is. GPUs are here to stay, at least for the short term. What we see with GPUs being the heavy lifters of computing, the TPU was the new kid on the block, and everyone wanted to be their friend. There with Google taking the lead for a period of time. I think NVIDIA is still in this game, certainly in the race. And to be real frank with you, no matter who wins from Google to OpenAI and all the other horses in this race, if we continue with this analogy, I think that NVIDIA lays down one of the best tracks for these horses to ride on with their GPU and what they are creating in terms of hardware alone.
Do you worry about the China story with NVIDIA? Look, I mean, they're saying that, you know, that this could be kind of a bumpy road for NVIDIA. Even though Jensen Huang is a very powerful force in Washington and he does have the president's ear, there are concerns that NVIDIA is going to have some ups and downs with the administration as we move into this April summit between President Trump and Xi Jinping.
Well, the good news is, Cheryl, that Jensen Huang has specifically told us that everything he is forecasting is with a big zero on China, as if we do no business in China. In short, what he is saying is anything China is icing. The cake itself is outside of China for NVIDIA and its continued play in this AI trade.
Okay. What are some of the beaten up AI names that you like here?
Specifically, two that stand out to me, CoreWeave and Applied Digital. CoreWeave is a at least $120, $130 per share stock, in my opinion. Our firm is buying this with a value proposition in mind, believing that this particular company is likely going to continue a bid up higher. It IPO'd in 2025, a bright future ahead of it. Retail exposure for that and Applied Digital have caused an extreme amount of volatility with the buys and the lows and the shorts. The reality of something like CoreWeave, in my opinion, is a long-term play. You're going to be a benefactor of what they are doing in the AI trade. Applied Digital, data centers, it's all the rave. 2026, I think that story continues, Cheryl. And Applied Digital, as well as CoreWeave, have already taken some of the downside. Clearly, artificial intelligence is still very important. I think every story is an AI story at its heart. But the broadening out of this market tells me that there is definitely legs to run into 2026. An investor needs to be disciplined and stay the course in their plan, not chasing last year's winners, but staying diversified.
There you go. Well, and also, too, I didn't get to it, but I still can't get over the fact that gold is at $4,500. There's a whole nother story for next year we'll have to get to another time.
A whole nother story.
Yeah, Dale, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.